Hi, everybody. Welcome to the local music scene. I have my friend with me, John from Astor House. If you don't know who he is, you're really missing out. I mean, I feel bad for you, honestly. But-
I feel bad for the ones who know who this is. Keep
um,
scrolling.
yeah, just keep going. It's not that important. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Stay here.
One move of the finger saves you.
Yeah. Scroll with the finger. Um, So anyway, we have a really big treat. He is gonna share his song with us, or his album with us, and then later on he'll sing a song for us too on his debut solo album, which I am, whoa, friend, what, I don't even know what to do.
Well, neither do I. That's why I make music, is it's the last ditch effort of figuring out something to do.
It's so true. Oh
If
my
I
God.
ever figure out what I'm doing, I know that I'm probably ill with something and I'm not long for this earth. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If I have never in my long time of living on this earth have I ever known what I'm doing.
oh yeah,
So
it's more fun just guessing. You know what I mean? It's like door number one, door number two, like what's behind what, And then if Bob Barker's there trying to help, that's always really scary too.
that's awesome.
Oh man.
I wish life was that way, where Bob Barker could just be like, would you like door number one or door number two?
I just want the cash. Oh, did you freeze there? It's probably on my end. I'm just going to assume it's my fault. What have I done?
I don't know. Are you back?
Yes. We're here. Because I forgot that Bob Barker actually just recently passed, so
Hi.
maybe he's infiltrating.
I'm back.
I think that's Bob's spirit. Let's see.
There we go.
We got it.
Yay!
I've learned not to bring up game show hosts. No Pat Sajak, none of it.
No.
Done.
And come on, you're killing me. All right. Okay. So why don't we start with just kind of, where did you come up with the concept for this album?
Yeah, well, it's so funny because I feel like I'm kind of one of those rare cases that I've moved a lot in my life, but not outside of several square miles. And I'm 31 now. And so what's interesting about the relationship of time is now I'm seeing these places from when I was a child, and they're changing for me. Like the meanings of them are changing, so I just wanted to write about my experience getting older, but still almost kind of hanging out with the old ghosts of my childhood just a little bit. And I don't know, because I always think about, like a lot of really cool songs are like, oh, traveling and seeing these new things. I have seen nothing. Like Kenmore Lanes, that's about Burke Gilman Trail. There used to be a Denny's in Kenmore, and so it's interesting to kind of see how my relationship with these locations change. And so I've always kind of wanted to do something to mark that, because the locations, no matter if they've been good or bad, have been really important to molding me as a person.
Yes.
As a human, with all the problems intact. But so I just kind of wanted to go back and look at those places again, maybe in hopes to let those places go. I don't know. Maybe I can't let them go. I don't know. But yeah. So, and then, of course, I've made the greatest friends in the world in these places. And so I also the main thing was I wanted to do a record for these people that I've spent time with in these places, so
Chets. Mike says Chets.
Oh yeah. Oh wow, yeah, yeah. Memories of junior high. That Chet. but
That's awesome.
yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it's literally just I I think of it as a gift to a handful of people that I've loved. You know.
Yeah, a hundred
Yeah.
percent. Yeah. So what was like the first place you thought of when you wanted to do this album? Like what was the first thing that came to mind?
Well, so I was born, not born, but I lived in a house on Simon's Road growing up, and that same road is where my high school was at.
Okay.
And so, just I guess the card that I was dealt in my life was I have a very supportive family. So in a way, I was almost kind of cloistered in that way,
Yeah.
which comes with good and bad baggage. But on that same street was my high school where I constantly felt, it's everyone goes through it, but
Yeah.
alienated and
Yeah.
and picked on, and that's where a lot of the troubles not really began for me, but kind of festered and blew up. And so it's kind of like the dichotomy of like on one street within like a half mile, there's this amount of safety
Yeah.
and feeling safe, and then feeling scared all the time. You
Yeah.
know, um, so that was kind of where I began. And then I felt that was too negative. So then I wanted to spin it positive.
Yeah.
But I can't really do that very well. Like now I'm thinking of the songs and I'm like, no, that's pretty negative too. That's a sad song. That's a sad song. But
Yeah. But maybe that's just kind of what comes out of what happened in that time, how you see those places from then to now. And maybe,
mhm,
I think like I kind of often think of some of the places too, and it's in going through your the album, and I was lucky enough to hear it. And so, for those of you that are like, how did you hear it? I'm special. And so that was bad. Um, no, no, I got
they're all
it.
pitying you right now.
Right, right. He's like, you weren't supposed to tell anybody.
Oh, I don't care. I You'd be surprised how little I care about so many things. You'd be shocked. You bring me
Most people do. Most people are like, no, don't say nothing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so uh, I got to go through it, and I really had this like it really brought me back to like the places I've been, and some of the songs were so somber that like I was able to have some pretty good memories even listening to them, you know?
Oh
So it was
wow.
cool. Like some of them were really like catchy and great, and I was like, "Hey, I like this." Like I could see myself there, and a lot of them I almost could feel like that place for you, like
Yeah.
where you were. Um,
Well, thank
no,
you.
yeah, it was awesome. I kind of felt like I went on a journey almost.
Oh, hey, thank you. That you and me were tackling my childhood together apparently then. So
Yeah, maybe I don't
yeah.
know. But yeah, I mean, and that's what I really like appreciate. I mean, I really think that you're very like wise when it comes to music anyways, and you're very talented in that way anyway, but like
Thank
I
you.
think it's kind of cool to like be able to take something that's so what everybody kind of wishes they could do and go back in time for
Yeah.
whatever reason, whether it's to change it, whether it's to just experience something they loved or whatever, and
Yeah.
to immortalize it. And I
Yeah.
think that's what you've done. You've been able to like that's what I was waiting for. Okay. Uh, uh it was gonna come eventually. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
could feel it just going on.
Yeah. Oh
Um
yeah.
so yeah, so I feel like you're able to take those points that were really like pivotal and important and immortalize it for yourself, however that looked for you.
Yeah.
And so, in going through all of those places, like, did it just what was the feeling in going into that? Like, was it like you're kind of overcome, or what was it just certain points where like, yes, I have to put this one in, or, that kind of thing?
You, you know, um, that's a very good question. Um, Let me just think on that. I'm gonna, I'm gonna have some water while I think. Hold on.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I mean, because I think because I haven't really gone super far out of my comfort zone, it was very easy to kind of scratch into some of those feelings. Because I mean, I feel like they're still here, because like I'll drive down these streets all the time, and I can see myself 3 a.m. walking down the street and hiding from the cops and all that stuff. I remember some of my.
Okay, wait a minute. What do you have to hide from the cops from?
Oh, that's for another talk.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that later.
Oh yeah. I was yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Moving on.
But yeah, I know there should have been more songs about jail on the record.
John, this is a side of you I never ever knew. Ever. I would not expect that.
But yeah, I mean, so like I'll drive through those streets, and I still kind of feel those very deep emotions that I had, figuring out who I was, where I was at the time.
Yeah.
And so kind of going back was very easy because I didn't really have to dig far at all. And as I was recording, more so writing everything, the album sounds sad, I would say, but every song I felt a really big sense of joy doing it, even if the lyric was sad, because I always tell, I've said this to like friends of mine, but people ask like, does a sad song mean that you were sad when you were writing it? But I always say like, it's kind of a celebration because I'm still here to sing this song.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of this, there's a Wilco song where Jeff Tweedy says every song is a comeback. And I'm like, yeah, I think that's what it is. So I felt like tremendous joy, and I always do writing music. I don't remember what your question was, but like I felt tremendous amounts of joy doing this. I'm 5'11". I don't know. I'm a Libra. Yeah, is that the question?
That explains it. Actually, I just want to say,
Yeah.
no, I appreciate that. There's this. I really love that you said that because I actually wrote the first song I released like as my name. I've had a bunch of songs released under other people, but as far as under my name, it was a sad song, like a really sad song. Oh, my eyes watered. And so I totally understand the people asking you, were you sad when you wrote it? Like, was this a moment in time where you were like really in this like stage of like you couldn't like come out of or something?
Yeah.
Actually, I wrote it like, I don't know, 5 months after the fact. And,
right. Yeah.
And so it was, you're right. It is kind of like a callback, but it's also kind of a, like a moment of like healing. Like for me personally, I don't know about you going back to all these places, but for me in that song, like mine is about falling in love with somebody, but like,
sure.
It's the callback to this moment where I was just devastated that this person didn't like me back. And, which is not anything new to anybody, but, it's also like, it's also one of those things where like, I think if you can make the person feel however that is in the song, in the album, whatever the feel is, like, I feel like you've done your job, or you've made the person, no matter what they interpret it as, or what their questions are, you've made them feel something, and you've done your job,
Right. Yeah. And I don't know if you have this, but there's a lot of songs that I've done that I'm like, no one will hear this. This is just me working out some trash, and I'll be like, well, should I play it? And I'm like, no, this is, you think the stuff I release is bad. Wait till you hear this, this. Wow. Makes everything else sound like Stairway to Heaven, So, but yeah, those are I call them the ugly songs.
okay, bruh, you have never released anything like bad, okay? Like in my own personal opinion, and I've seen you live a couple of times, I've never been like, oh, John, why?
Oh,
I've
well,
never
I'm happy.
been.
I'm happy you think that. Yes, I need you. I need you around for emotional support when I hear otherwise. So I'll just call you. Like, listen to this.
I'm gonna be like, you know what, friend? Fuck them.
Yeah, I got you on speed dial every time I start to hear some stuff. You know.
Yeah. Let me talk to them. I'll be like, you're not a real fan. Bye.
Talk to my parents.
Listening to.
Oh my gosh! But I appreciate that. Thank you. You know, it's just. I mean, at the end of the day, it's so much fun. You know.
Yeah,
Um,
it is. Yeah.
that's why
And
I do it.
that's all it should be, you know? I mean, I feel like whether
Yeah.
it's a full album or it's just a song or whatever, like, you know, as long as you're happy with it in the end, it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter. And that was like, so this is your first work doing it on your own, right? Is that what I'm understanding? It's your
So
first.
what's weird is this is the first time I think I've done it, but bothered to tell anybody.
Oh,
So
okay.
what's funny? It's interesting because I have two others that I released like a couple years ago, but I was kind of like, oh, I did a record. Didn't really talk about it very much. And then like there's some Astor House stuff that we released as demos that I don't know. There's not really any rules. Like there's some Astor House songs
Yeah,
where like I'm playing like the guitar on it and Russ is on the drums.
yeah,
Like we're just kind of,
yeah. It doesn't
I
matter.
guess the blanket statement is however it gets done and fast is the way we're going to do it.
Right.
So, but yeah, so I've done stuff in the past, but never really been very open about it.
Okay.
Just because I'm like, you know,
Is
nobody
it,
needs to know.
do you look back and go, that's not me anymore? Or why? Why is that? Why do you go, ah?
Um, hmm. That's another good question. Everything I've done in the like I always joke I'm still trying to get rid of everything I've done in the past. Like, like I'm still I think that goes for a lot of musicians and artists and people who create. They kind of look back and they go, what was I thinking?
Yeah,
You know?
I do feel that. Yeah.
Yeah. But in the moment I did it, I was right.
Yeah.
You know, because I was honoring that moment. Like it's not right for me now, but in the moment I was doing it, I was right.
Yeah.
But I'd want to kick the crap out of past John for the things that he's written, you know, like, but it is kind of like that retrospect as time goes on. And that's kind of the record, you know, places morph and meaning change, not only just to songs, but people and relationships. And so, yeah, I feel like this whole little, I don't want to call it an era, but this whole little time frame for me is I'm just trying to see everything. I'm just looking. And I think I've been afraid to look for years, and now I'm just kind of like, let's see what I can find. You know,
yeah. You're in your Taylor Swift era. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm so much wealthier than her. That's what people don't know.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Were. I mean, the she's reached 1 billion. I think we're all kind of stretching at this point.
I mean, we're all, yeah. You know, I just finished my stadium tour. I have a movie out. And me and Taylor.
Yeah, it's a close one. It's a close one, friend.
Close.
If it's any consolation, I'm rooting for you.
Oh, that's door number 2.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So let's talk about maybe just touch on each of the songs, maybe.
Sure.
And just kind of give like a quick synopsis of each one. Maybe
okay.
how you came up with it or something like that. Just a quick thing of each one or why it's meaningful.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. Okay. Let me just kind of trying to remember how. Okay. Yes. First song is Mutineers.
Yes.
And I wrote that song the night before I turned 30.
Okay.
And I was kind of like, I want to say or do something to kind of, I don't know, not sum up, my 20s, but at least get like a temperature on it and kind of like the main things I was going through and some of the thoughts I was having. And I didn't pull that off at all. But, you know, one thing through my 20s was very much like, what's the point? You know, I'm nothing, I'm nobody. And that was kind of just the thing that just kind of kept on going. And I don't feel that way anymore, but that song was kind of like trying to honor that like feeling of being lost. And when I was in my 20s, I was very afraid to be the age I am now because of how society would view me like, okay, now you got to have your shit together. Like now you got to know, you got to understand taxes. And so I was very afraid. Yeah. And then so like, I think Mutineers is about, you know, the fear of, oh my gosh, like I'm a little comfortable now. Going back, I would hate to be 20 again because that was terrible, you know. So that's song one. Song two.
But on that note, I think that is actually awesome because I think we all in our 20s leading up to 30 is like, shit. And when you turn 28 or 27 or whatever, when you have your 10-year reunion, you're like, did I amount to anything to be able to go to this reunion?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Oh my God.
Norms. And like, I didn't even have a 30th birthday. I was so petrified to turn 30 because I felt like I had not even lived long enough for anything to reach that point.
I made my brother throw me a surprise 30th birthday in my 20s because I just wanted to like, and he threw on the weekend of his birthday.
What?
Asshole. Can I say asshole?
Yes.
But I was like, I got to do it now so I can actually fully enjoy it.
Oh my God. I've never heard of that. Like, that's nuts. Like, I'm not even 30, but at 25, we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Yeah. And I begged. I got what I wanted.
What did your parents think of that?
Oh, they can't take this anymore. No, they're just happy that I don't live with them. So they're like, listen, if you want, it's your life. Just don't talk to us.
Kind of where mine's at too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But sorry, what?
I said that's amazing. But I can actually kind of, so the joke for me is that I've told everybody that it's whatever whatever age it is, it's the anniversary of my 29th birthday.
Yeah. Oh, completely.
12th anniversary of my 29th birthday.
Right. I turned 100 times. Yeah, you got to just dress it up somehow, you know.
You do. Yeah. I'm always going to be 29. I have not. Yeah, it's just never go beyond that.
I still act like I'm 8, so hopefully.
I feel that. I do. I feel like I'm always going to be like 18, you know, just like.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
All the time.
Oh, completely. But so yeah, I'm trying to think. So song 2. No, yeah, I should know this by now. Golden Years. Yeah, I mean that was very much. Well, speaking of being 18, that was a song of me knowingly being in the years that are like very formative and very life changing, and people go, "These are the best years of your life," but that was, you know, probably some of the worst years of my life. And I remember just hearing so much from adults like, cherish this. And I'm like, cherish this? This is what I'm living for? Like, and so, yeah, that song I think was about the, I don't know, kind of the lie of here's where you are and here's where you're supposed to be doing this. And you're supposed to be feeling this because that's what we've all been taught and programmed through like the media and stuff like that. And so, I think that song was me like, yeah, you know, I'm better now, but the golden years were the terrible ones, you know? So So age kind of like, I mean, numerically it's real, but like the thought kind of a construct in a way. So
Yeah. Wow.
yeah,
I know, and it's so interesting how like everybody puts so much pressure on that, you know? Like those are the years that you have fun and you drink and you do all this stuff and you get it all out of your system and you know, and then you hit 30 and life is just supposed to appear to be together and
yeah. Oh, I'm
like
cracking it up.
yeah, yeah, right. I passed it and was like, I'm pretty sure that was my golden years. I'm pretty sure. Like I
Yeah.
think 20s was not for sure.
No. Oh my God. Yeah. No. Absolutely. Yeah. Just couldn't wait for it to be over.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
next one is Child Undone.
Yeah. Child Undone. Yeah. I mean, that was very similar. Being in high school, uh, hating every second of it, but
Yeah.
faking it. Um,
Yeah.
you know, the pomp and circumstance of, yeah, okay, now this is what you do. You walk and you graduate and you say this and you feel that and blah, 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 blah. And that was the time where I was like, I have to live second by second or else we're in a lot of trouble. So I
Yeah.
couldn't think of prom. I couldn't think of what I was going to wear, you know, because, you know, you dangle by a thread, you know, well, it's getting a little deep, but like, you know, when you dangle by a thread, you know, you're lucky if you think, am I eating today?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and then so I'd see like, you know, other people, no fault of their own, but living very different lives. And I was like, how is this possible? And so that was what I think that song's about.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
I can hear that. That's definitely like kind of what I got from it. You're just kind of like, how are you doing this? And I'm not, you know, like
Yeah.
what am I
Right.
doing? Almost kind of what am I doing wrong? Maybe.
Yeah.
Um,
Did I miss something along the way? Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Totally.
I
Yeah.
don't know if wrong is the right word, but I think there's confusion, maybe, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Completely.
And then the next one was Sunburned Dreams.
Or Suburban Dreams.
Oh,
Sunburn Dreams sounds better. I like that better. I like that better. Sunburn Dreams.
oh, I read it as sunburn.
That's so much better. Consider it done. Consider it done. So Sunburn Dreams
Yeah.
is about. I'm trying to think of. Um. Okay, that one. There was a line in the song where I'm very hot and cold. I don't do well in the gray area. Everything is either the best thing of all time or the worst thing of all time. And I remember I was in a zone, um, and the line popped into my head. I wanted nothing, and then I wanted the world. And I said that over and over again. And I'm like, that's kind of like how I felt for a long time, where it's like I couldn't find that safe space in between nothing and everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know if I wanted nothing or everything. So I was kind of traversing that line for a long time. Yeah, so that song is about what do you want and
Yeah.
what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Sunburned Dream.
I think the very first I kind of actually identified with that one because I had written the very first song I'd ever written was called It'll Be Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was changed to all I think they changed it to I'll Be Okay. I don't know.
Hmm.
Anyway, and it was the same thing of me being 19 and like really like not knowing which way to go. Like I have all these opportunities and the world is ahead of me and I don't even know what I want to do. You know?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I have options and all these opportunities and I'm just like, which way do I go? Like who's gonna take my can somebody take my hand and guide me?
Right.
I just don't
Yeah.
know what to do, you know? And that's kind
Yeah.
of what brought me back. I forgot about that song honestly for a while because it's been 20 years. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, man, I totally felt that. Like I was like, that's kind of how I felt.
Right. Well, I'm happy you connected with you in that way.
Yeah, I
This
think
is very therapeutic, by the way.
what's that?
This is very therapeutic, by the way. Going
Oh,
through all this.
I know. It was for me too.
Yeah.
Then music is dead.
Yes. So that song, well, there were a lot of years where I believed what people would say about me and what people would tell me, and I would like when I was maybe about 16, like I started playing shows, and I'd have complete strangers come up and be like, "You're terrible," and like I was when we were playing kind of places that teens probably shouldn't have been playing. And then,
Oh,
so, when you're at that age, you kind of, you're told adults are right. Their opinions are right. Listen to it, and then, so I just have all these strangers come and be like, you're terrible. You need to do this, 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 this. And I'd be kind of like, aye, aye, Captain. And so that's when I kind of developed, pretty severe stage fright where, people would be shocked because, like I'm really comfortable on stage now,
yeah.
but like I would be throwing up before shows, and like
Whoa.
I passed out like on stage, and like after, I mean, it was really difficult to get through, but it's because I gave all these naysayers the power. And I'm like, what am I doing? I'm not singing for you,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And like, and that's the way it is. You're not going to change me anymore. And so that song was kind of about that point of realizing like what the goal is. And the goal is for me is just to have an okay time at a show.
Yeah,
And maybe if I say something or do something and it hits somebody in a way, that's all I can really ask for. And I'm not, I will not do anything that I don't want to do musically. I won't do it.
At what point did that change? Like, what did you have like a epiphany at a show, and you were like, "Screw this! Like, I can
Yeah.
just do what I want."
Yeah, I think it was a slow kind of dissolving in a way where I was just like, this is insane. Like I passed out in front of people and everybody else has the power. And this at the end of the day is not even about power. This is a release of joy, something that I loved from being a child, rather than how do I control this audience? How do I get what I want out of these people, which was just so not, I mean, I think it might work for some people, but it did not work for me. And so what's interesting is I teach music lessons, and teaching vocals was very interesting because I would talk to some of my other students about their anxieties and like their kind of feelings of inferiority with their voice. And they helped me kind of find myself in that way, because I realized, I kind of had to zoom out and go, okay, I'm not the center of anything. This world is very vast and hurting, and so many people have baggage. And so then I was like, okay, I'm going to do what I can to kill this baggage for you forever. And then in that, I found ways to help myself too.
That's amazing. And I think that's the power, like, to give power to kids of what they can actually help with adults. They're not, adults don't give them enough credit. And even us as, young, I still think of us as, if you're under 50, I still kind of feel like you're a young adult, we're still learning the way of life. And I feel like that's the cool thing about kids, is sometimes they can make you reflect and really think about like, okay, I get where you're coming from, I was there, and like, this is how I'm getting through it. So let's just try this with you, and I don't know. I think that's really cool that they kind of healed you in this little tiny way, like that's amazing.
I had no idea the bigness of that for a long time. Because I remember I just started to kind of go to shows, and I was like, what's happening to me? And then I do these lessons, and I'm like, you are teaching me.
Yeah.
But you're paying me. What is that? Like, you people are teaching me, and I'm unbelievably thankful for that. And like that's kind of like I'm getting into, I'm going to school for social work with I want to be a mental health counselor down the line.
What?
It's a long journey, but so those kids were the ones who got me very interested in that, because I mean, it's just this reciprocal, we're all going to help each other out vibe. Really was profound.
Think about that though. Like, you were able to literally just change the course of your direction just due to like one interaction or two interactions,
And
like,
they'll never know how important that was for me. Like, I try to tell them, and they're like, I don't really get it, but they'll never know. They'll never know. Yeah. And I got to make peace with that. So.
Exactly. Well, I'm excited for you. I can't wait to see how that turns out.
Oh, well, it'll be a dumpster fire, but grab my hand while I'm burning, please.
No, I mean, you have my phone number. I'll just say, F you people.
Yeah, I need you. I need you more than you know.
I'm just gonna pour the kerosene, okay? I'm just
Yeah,
gonna keep.
yeah. I'm ready.
Okay, so next is my one of my favorite places on the planet, Honolulu.
Yeah. Well, and that's funny because I've never been. I've never been to Honolulu.
What?
Yeah, I know. So that was kind of I broke the rules a little bit. And I'm trying to think that song.
I love that you don't remember.
I know. It's like it's one of those things that it's like it's like I remember, but
Yeah.
how God's name do I explain this one?
Oh, okay, okay.
Like and then I don't remember. Like there were I think there's like ideas that I have in my head where I relate some sort of way of thinking to a location that seems very pristine and idyllic and like almost like utopia. And I always kind of thought of like those islands and Honolulu as this kind of utopian thing. And so I had never been there, and I'm like, well, you know, I want to go there one day, but I haven't allowed myself to do that. So I think that song, that's kind of one aspect of that song. And then the other part of the song, I think also deals with my sense of self-worth as a person, as well as a person who does music. And because there's a line that I say, I was always afraid to be ordinary. And that is true for a long time, and kind of trying to ebb that thought away of like, well, to be alive, you must be extraordinary. It's like, no. There's beauty in things that are very, very, very small and things that just kind of buzz by, you know? And so that song, I think, helped me to kind of just to ease into myself being, you know, small and just passing through, you know what I mean? And then I tried to think, okay, if I'm just going to pass through, I'm going to have as much fun as I can while I'm passing through, as opposed to trying to do this great show or get this song on the radio. So that song, I think, is me stripping away ideals that I formed when I was a kid, trying to make sense of who I was in relationship to other people that I had known. And like, how am I going to climb this ladder? Yeah. So that song is, I think, about breaking that ladder down and burning it.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's funny because I had went to Honolulu when I was younger, and then don't remember a darn thing. Like I could not remember anything other than swimming a lot. That was really all I remembered. Yeah. And then I went with the martial law band, and
I love that.
A completely different experience. Just amazing. It was like the coolest place I've ever been. Everything I thought. And it was pouring rain and 75 degrees. And I didn't know.
Oh, my God.
I was like sweating. But it was like the best experience. I was like, I don't even care. You know? Like,
yeah. It's all who you're with, you know?
Yeah, it is. And so and it was this like feeling of utopia, like you were saying, of just like, this is awesome. Like, this is life. Like, this is where I feel like I've kind of reached a point in my life where I saw this place and I just kept thinking it was like the best place and the best.
Yeah.
Everybody always thinks it's the best place. You know, Hawaii is the greatest.
Right.
And it was this whole thing of just realizing it's not just that, it's how you experience it, you know?
Right. Yeah. Completely. No, I makes sense to me. Absolutely. Yeah. That sounds fun. Oh my God.
I'm telling you, dude,
I gotta go.
You gotta
go. Yeah.
It's too much fun. You gotta go. Especially swim with the fishes. I swam with some barracuda and I was terrified because I was like, I'm gonna die because there is a whole bunch of them. And I didn't. They were just
God. You know, they're just floating around being ordinary too at the end of the day. Yeah. You know?
My favorite part of that day was it started pouring, and I mean just downpour. We all watched it come over, right?
Yeah.
And everybody got out of the water. Everybody. And I was like, I got out and then I stopped and I was like, the water's wet.
I'm going in. Yeah.
Why do I need to be afraid of the wet when I'm in the wet? And I
Yeah.
just went back in and I was the only one for a little while until people just followed me. And I was like, we're all wet anyway. Like, what is
Right.
the
Yeah.
difference?
What the hell is wrong with you people?
So I was like,
You
yeah,
taught them a valuable lesson that day.
probably. I don't know. I like to think so.
Yeah. Oh my God. Completely.
Anyway, sidebar. That was my favorite moment.
No, well, now I got to get in there. I gotta go. I gotta go.
You got it. It's the best. It's the best. The people are the best. The food is awesome. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's,
I've heard nothing bad about that place. Nothing.
yeah. And I went during the New Year, right? So that was crazy. Honolulu, everywhere. It's against the law to set off fireworks in the whole place. And there was just, I mean, it was boom, boom, boom to like 2 a.m. It was crazy.
Oh my God.
And I had the best time just looking. I was in central Honolulu and you could see out in the water, and it's just this like the whole city was just full of
Beautiful.
fireworks. It was so close.
Yeah.
This is better than the Space Needle.
Yeah. I know you have those moments in life that you'll just never forget.
Yeah.
And that's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
somebody's
fantastic.
here. I'll put it on here. Can you see that?
Oh,
No? Okay.
Dill.
It says no.
Oh no, I got him. Hello, Dill.
He says, "Let's go, let's go."
Let's go. Let's come on, Dill. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So anyway, I encourage you to go.
Yeah, I need to. I need to.
And then if you go, I'm just gonna hide in your suitcase, okay?
Oh yeah, please do, and I'll just toss it into the water.
I'll just float across. I'll meet you there.
Yeah, please, please.
Okay, the next one is Bothell, Washington. I know a lot about that. Blythe Park.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and so that kind of, I think, kind of piggybacks a little bit off of Honolulu. Of I guess that feeling of maybe growing up and realizing that there's nothing intrinsically unique about you. Like, and that's good because you're part of that human experience of like, okay, we all kind of understand each other. We're all in this together. But then you kind of go, oh, like maybe there isn't something that makes me stand out. And I think for a long time, I was looking for other people to give me a sense of self-worth. And that was very unhealthy, because the compliments, I needed them. I lived off of compliments, but then in the same way, then I was like romanticizing what I needed from people. And so then the negatives would like kill me,
Gosh.
And so it was like, I think a little bit of trying to figure out like, okay, can you do away with the negatives? Now you got to do away with the positives and just kind of let it all pass through. And that's kind of the journey I'm on right now, is just not attaching to any of the negatives, but I have to do that by not attaching to the positives as well. So
Yeah. You're kind of like a dream catcher. You just let it all go through.
Oh, completely. Yeah. I let it all as best I can pass through. I can do that with music. If someone says that they don't like a song, it doesn't bother me at all. And then if somebody says they like a song, weirdly, that doesn't bother me either.
You think you would be like, thanks. But
yeah. I mean, I'm really thankful, but I'm just trying not to attach to anything anymore.
I think that's a good idea. That way you're not so affected, by everything, I feel like.
Yeah. I want to, if I go down, I want it to be on me, not somebody else anymore.
100%, man.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So we have Kirkland, my home. Placebo.
Well, I'm still in therapy in Kirkland. And my therapist, I've had many therapists, and they're fantastic. But I think that's a song about me being afraid to take that step, and afraid to like try different medications and open up to my therapists with an S. And so that song really is about trying to figure out ways to unpack in bravery and not be so scared about it. So
yeah.
yeah.
I think that was the other one I kind of could feel, mostly
Yeah.
because when I read the title, I think I had a predisposition because Kirkland is where I grew up. And
Yeah.
so I was like, oh, I'm instantly like, I felt like I was instantly like
Yeah.
18 or something. I don't know.
Right.
Had a connection. And then
Yeah.
it kind of came to this point where I'm like, damn, yeah, that's kind of how I feel, you know, like that's where I've had several, I have two right now, you know, and like, so it's like this thing where like you kind of touched on something in a place where um my heart really kind of sits, you know, and
Mm,
where I feel home.
yeah.
And so it was kind of interesting. That one I had just a complete like existential experience.
Yes, my work here is done.
You know what? The interview's over. We're good. See you later.
See ya. Not playing the song. Not doing it.
No, um okay, so the next one was Teenage Rot from Pop Keeney
Keeney, yeah.
Keeney Stadium.
Yeah. So that one there's a song I wrote with like for Astor House with Astor House. I always have these songs and I'm like, where do they go?
Yeah.
And so there was a song I wrote two songs like right back to back. One song I wrote was All Dang Syne, and that was on an Astor House
Yes.
album, and that song I was watching like a compilation on YouTube because I was really bored. I was watching compilations of the New Year's Eve ball dropping like through the 70s, 80s, 90s, and watching it all. And then there was the New Year's Eve ball drop of 2020. And I was like, oh my God, these people have no idea what's coming next. And then the New Year's Eve ball drop of 2021, and the streets were barren. And the Sinatra song, you know, New York, New York is playing and it's echoing off of buildings and just reverberating. And, you know, it's just desolate. And so I wrote All Dang Syne about that. And so then I was kind of thinking about other places in my life. And so it might have even been like the next day or something like that. I wrote Teenage Rot because then I went on a YouTube spree of looking up like places that I hung out through the years. And one of the places that I'd occasionally go was Pop Keeney Stadium for like the school football games and stuff. And then like, so there were little compilations of like different years of like sports teams coming through. And then you'd see the city be demolished and built back up again. So you'd see the passage of time. And then so Teenage Rot to me was taking a singular location and watching things ebb and flow and change pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, those songs, one I threw to Astor House, one is here. So yeah, that happens a lot. There's like some songs where I'm like, this would make sense with Astor House, or this would make sense with just me. So I don't know. Yeah.
That's cool. I really liked the the name just because it made me think of that God, is it an 80s song? Oh, he
Danger Zone.
I'll didn't let you know later because I don't remember. I was thinking of it when I was listening to it. Now I was like, oh, I'll remember. No,
Text me.
Yes, I'll have to. Yeah. And then the next one is Best Friend from Finn Hill.
Yeah. You know, that one's kind of I wanted to do a song that was very like 60s kind of balladeer, like kind of happy sound. Because I was going through a phase where I was thinking a lot about elementary school and some of the first crushes that I had in elementary school. And I would just, it's cliche, but I was just thinking about this girl. And I was like, I remember that. And I was so innocent and I was so young. Yeah. And that was so pure and unscathed by the outside world, And so I wanted to do a song that was like very much, you're into somebody in elementary school, and that's why the song sounds very innocent.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to do that. Yeah.
That's what I got from that was the innocence. Like, you're this, like nothing has touched you yet. You're still pure. You're still, you're still like in this moment of like, nothing has the world hasn't hit you yet. And
You're kind of in love in a bubble almost. Yeah.
That's what it is. Yes.
Yeah.
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 I got that. I was like, oh, I didn't. So I left for junior high and came back, and so I went to Ben Rush Elementary.
Okay.
And I was at Lakeview. So I moved around a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell. And so I went to Lakeview Elementary in Kirkland, and then I moved to Redmond and went to Ben Rush, and then I moved to California, and then I came back and went to high school in Kirkland and graduated at Lake Washington High. So I started in Kirkland and I ended up graduating in Kirkland, which was cool. But Finn Hill was one of those places where all the kids in high school had come from, and they were all, it was the best school if you were Rose Hill or if you were Finn Hill, and
right.
So weird.
I know, right? It goes deep, those rivalries. How much cookie dough did you sell?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, don't be at Juanita High. You can't go to Juanita High.
Oh my gosh. I know those school rivalries, they got my high school in a lot of trouble. They actually there was this thing they called the Naked Vikings, and there's a line in Child Undone, I was beaten with car parts and left for dead. That happened. There was like a hazing. I think I don't know if I'm getting it 100% right, but I think I heard that the kids were beaten with car parts and pissed on for the football team. So
wow, holy cow.
That's fucked. I don't know if that's right, but I remember there was a news story, and there was you saw the pictures, and their backs were torn apart, for high school football.
Kids suck,
Yeah.
They are so mean. I even understand, I've never understood the concept of why kids are so mean, they're so innocent, but they're so mean. They can take you and just, rip shreds, and you're like, you're only 9.
Yeah, and they can find the sensitive one. It's like they're just like, you. This is gonna hurt you.
Yes. So weird. I've never understood the concept.
Oh, I know. It's abysmal.
It is.
Yeah.
And then the last one was Wayne's golf course.
Yeah. So that one, that one for me is very much the ode to close friend. I don't know if any of them are watching, but just the ode to magnificent people that I've gotten the distinct pleasure to get to know, and a lot of the times, I still to this day, I'll go stargaze there with friends, and we'll have deep, we'll have deep conversations that really touch on a lot of very important things, and it's a very disarming place for me, because it's literally just grass, hills and grass, and you can see the stars, and I would stargaze there all the time after the park was closed. And but yeah, that place is really near and dear to my heart, and some of my buddies' hearts as well. So that song was the essential I love you to my pals.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's so cool. I appreciate people that can do that. I've tried for so many years to try and write a song like that, and I never accomplished it. Aaron did Castle on the Hill, and I was like, he has that one line where these people raised me, and I was like, damn, that's a good line. Why couldn't I think of that? And then I was yours, and I was like, damn, right? Are crushing this, and I'm not.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I know. So yeah, you hear a line and you're like, my God. Or you go you hear a line and you're like, I wonder what writing team wrote that for you. Right. How much did that line cost?
Yeah. Who's your writer? Paragiriati? What's happening?
Right. It's that was worth every penny of that 50,000. Exactly. Not saying that he doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I think it's time you should do a song. That's what I think.
Okay.
We've talked about it. Now you get to sing it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, totally. Well, I went. It was funny because a lot of the songs I recorded with drums and all this stuff, and
yeah.
And so I was like, they're all going to really be a shadow of their former self without everything. But I'm going to try my best. So I'm going to do Teenage Rot.
Yeah.
So let's see here. I can remember. I was going back and forth, so I had to kind of relearn this before we got on.
Yeah.
All right, here goes nothing. All the kids on the borderline never called their mother, wasting away in the summer, wasting away with one another. Teenage rock, trapped in their thoughts. Teenage rock, trapped in their thoughts. Locking lips with their best friend, knowing it's not forever. Crawling under the bleachers, knowing damn well what they are. Teenage rock, trapped in their thoughts. Teenage rock, trapped in their thoughts. I thought you should know. I thought you should know. Don't you get it yet? We're on the wrong side of summer. You better cut your hair, 'cause we're on the wrong side of summer. So ready, set, go and grab anyone's hand, and don't think twice. It's not about happiness, it's about the rest of your life. So you know, we're on the wrong side of summer. 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 Something like that.
Okay, so that was the line that stood out to me, and I was second guessing myself if that was the song it was in. And so because I'd listened to him pretty quick through, so I could like get a feel for each one.
Yeah.
And that was the line that like stuck with me, and I thought, the wrong side of summer, like that's a cool way to say like the summer ended, and like there's so many different ways people have said that, like when the sun goes down, or whatever. And I just like a cool line. That was like the one that started that song. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, just yeah. Thank you.
FYI.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm happy you liked it. So yeah. I think that one's probably the one I'm most proud of on the record, I think.
Yeah. Is that like your most, like, do you have a favorite? I'm curious.
I mean, I don't know about a favorite, but I think I'm most proud of that one. And maybe that one in Wayne's Golf Course. Okay. Yeah, I'm just like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Good job, John. Good job.
It's rare when that happens, so yeah. I gotta take every pat I gotta take. So
yeah, you should write a song about that. That's what I think.
Yeah, every pat you take.
Yeah. Not a step, it's a pat.
Right? Yeah. Oh my gosh.
my gosh.
Wow. Oh, that's crazy. So we were slotted for a half hour and look at us go.
I told you. I told
Yeah,
you never stick to the time.
never. No, I love it. I love it. It's gonna put the
Well,
sound real
I love that you came on and shared. Like, I'm just so happy for you and that you decided to be brave enough to come out with something on your own. And
Oh, thank you.
because it takes a lot of courage to do that. I mean, with Astor House,
Yeah,
it's a whole different thing because you have other people involved, right? And it's
right. I can
big,
hide. Yeah.
you know, you can blame other people, but like
Right.
it's when it's yourself, it's like I don't know.
Right. Yeah, no, totally. It's a new experience, and we'll see what I do next. Probably run back to Astor House pretty damn quick.
Yeah, you're
No,
like,
that's the
okay,
thing. I
I
can't
did it.
escape. I
Yeah, you're
can't
like, I did
escape.
it. I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
done.
This, yeah. But no, it's funny because it all kind of comes from the same hive mind. Because like I'll write a song and I'm like, what would Russ do here? Like, what would Julio do here? So it's
Yeah,
all like Astor. This is an Astor House record, and then Astor House is a John record. It's
yeah,
all. I'm
yeah,
thinking of them constantly every time I do anything. So
yeah. That's
yeah,
amazing. Like
yeah,
that's what being a band is, where
yeah,
you just think of like what they could do to enhance the song or add to it
yeah,
and
yeah.
bring it to life a little bit more. And
Oh
I think
yeah, they're very
awesome.
much in my mind the whole time.
Yeah.
It's all from that same weird hive mind. I don't know what it is, but it's all
I,
from it. Yeah.
I all I see is like just this hive as your head comes off, holes.
Yeah. No, that's life. That is my
Oh,
life.
experience. This is well,
Oh,
um, I'm so happy you came on. Thank you for coming on and just sharing. And it's been a minute, but I'm glad you came back.
oh, thank you for having me back. No, love always talking with you, like on or off live stream. So
Yeah,
love
me
it.
too. I know. It's crazy. Like you're one of the very few people I can just be like talking to about music forever.
Oh, well, I appreciate that, and I mean you too, because like sometimes like I'll talk to people and they're very much like stop talking, and I'm like,
Oh,
oh my gosh,
yeah.
I have more to say. I talk too much.
Yeah, yeah. I do that all the time. They're like, Kara, we don't care. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they're like, we don't know who you're talking about. So can we just move on a little?
Right, yeah, it's like no context. We're just gonna have to keep going.
Yeah.
Like just move,
Yeah.
move.
Which of your friends is the 100 people that you know? We don't know.
Like, and if we knew them, I don't think we'd even like them anyway. They sound
Well,
rotten.
yeah, and then there's this joke that like some of them, my closest friends, are like, "Can you make us like a tree of like who these people are? Like, we need a friend tree."
Oh yeah, no, it's complicated. It is absolutely
Yeah,
complicated. Yeah, I know. Sometimes, like knowing a lot of people is a blessing, but then it can be very confusing at times.
it's a blessing and a curse all at once.
Right. And it's like I don't even know myself yet, so how can I figure out you people? Give me a second.
I just know all these people. I just they're just
Right. Yeah.
part of the hive.
But yeah, no, I'm really though like oh I'm lucky to have the friends I have. So this record is for them.
Yeah.
Small small group, but very important group nonetheless.
Awesome.
So.
Well, I'm glad you have them too, because you're very and they're lucky to have you too. I mean, to be able to be so talented and to give something back to them that, not a lot of people can do. So
Well,
yeah.
you should ask them what they think, but thank you for your
If they don't, you better call me.
I
We're
will.
our third call of the day at this point.
Well, thank you so much. This this has been such a blast. Thank you for having me.
Thank you too. All right, everybody, please go check out John. He's amazing. He also is the lead for and a drummer, if you can believe it, a lead singer and the drummer of Astor House. So go check them out too. And share them around and share him around too. Oh, that kind of sounded wrong. Anyways, pass him around, guys.
Pass me around, everyone. Pass John on the left-hand side.
Exactly. Do it. does. So anyway, have a great night, guys, and we appreciate you for watching. And as always, go support everybody and show your love for local artists. They appreciate it. We appreciate you coming here and supporting us. Subscribe if you haven't. There's so many more people that are up to come this year, and I'm so excited. So see you later. Bye.
See you later. Bye. Do I just press the red X? I'm gonna do it.